understood that the regime is close to the end. If the East Germans could leave Hungary, could leave the East and the communist bloc, and could go to the free world. So what I did that day. So we spent, with my family, we spent a summer holiday at the Balaton Lake. You may know that the Balaton Lake was a famous meeting point of the Germans, because the East Germans were allowed to visit to Hungary. They were not allowed to go to West at all. And many West German families came to Hungary, rented out a house at the Balaton Lake, and they met there with their relatives from East Germany. And thousands of German families have the summer meeting at the Balaton Lake. The East German government and the East German Communist Party hate it, and they don't support this kind of family reunions in Hungary. And that time, as I mentioned, we have thousands of East Germans in Hungary, and already that time we opened former pioneer camps for the refugees, because so they did not have really money to stay. They had no food, and so they did not want to go back. It was very high tension in the country because of that. So I started my way from the Balaton to here. It was 3 or 3.5 hours driving, and so I was informed about, obviously, the meeting, but I was not informed about what happened with between the police and the so-called workers' guards. It was a workers' militia organized by the Communist Party, armed people, approximately 40,000. And when I crossed the border of the county, this county, I met a checking point set by the police and the workers' militia. It was not told me, so I was also stopped. They checked my documents, and when I asked them what is this, they were smiling, and they told that lots of East Germans are approaching this area, and they had to keep the order. It was nothing against the order; they just wanted to leave. So, and when I arrived here a bit later than it was planned, already all the roads there were full of East German Trabant cars and motorcycles left. So the cars were open, nobody there, empty cars. It was a bit touching also. And so together with the organizers we arrived at this point, approximately there, somewhere, I don't remember exactly. And there was a gate. The gate was closed. So not really nice gate, just some wooden something installment. And there were 5 border guards, soldiers, let me say. And they got an order that the border will be open between 3 p.m. to, I don't know, 8 p.m. or whatever, and people having valid documents could cross the border. But East Germans did not have valid documents. And here were some hundreds of people gathered, and so I was standing very close to a colonel, a border guard colonel. He was responsible for the regime on the border, and on the other side of the fence there were the Austrian border guards. But the border guards knew each other very well, and they agreed that they keep the order, keep the regime. Also the Austrians, even the Austrians were also frightened about the possibility of some hundreds or thousands East Germans arriving to their territory. And so we wanted to start the picnic, and suddenly we just noticed that a group of people breaking through, penetrating the crowd, and they arrived at the border. The colonel moved them, asked them, they did not answer, and it was clear immediately that they were East German people, and all the people in the crowd helped them to approach the gate, and it happened with some moments. They opened the gate and penetrated and run just that way. Maybe 50 people or a bit more. And the colonel told that it is not in order, so we have to do something. And I told him that, well, so I'm the highest rank official here, and please, you are not my supervisor and commander, he told me. I told him that, okay, well, it's true, I'm a civilian person, but let's have a beer. and he was not so happy. So he was really in trouble. Later on, he was charged. Finally, the procedure stopped, but so he was responsible for everything without a clear command. And he just made this gesture and left me. And that moment, when he left, I heard some motorcycles approaching, and this was my strongest moment that day. On the motorcycle, there was a family, young family. So, 22 years old guy, a small children behind him and his wife, and they were fear of their face, so they did not know what will happen, and they just came closer, and they opened the gate. The border guards turned back, so they just did not want to understand or notice what is happening, and that moment maybe 5-6 motorcycles ran away with families. There were 4 people on one motorcycle, and so after that everything changed. So the border guards left, and everybody helped the Germans. As far as I know from the reports, until night, maybe 300-400 people left crossed the border here. But those checking points stopped these Germans on the border of the country, and so more people could not come here. So picnic happened. So there were some good music here and beer and sausages, and so some speeches. The daughter of Otto Habsburg, Walburg Habsburg, came to represent their father, and so actually I have the only photograph about the meeting with Walburg. And so we became quite good friends, and so yesterday night we chat on Facebook about it. So she is a member of the European Parliament, and she is also for the pan-European ideas.
Go that way.
So next day, or next days. So there is a long story after the picnic.
Take one with the picture and with him together.
So I just did not recognize the next day, because next day there was holiday, and after that we continued the political negotiations with the oppositions and the Communist Party. It was more important than any other thing. And also parallel there were negotiations about the problem of the refugees. The Prime Minister flew to West Germany and met the Chancellor Kohl 2 times. The German Chancellor was very, very empathetic, and he did not claim any kind of solution from Hungary. He told that he and his country would be very happy if Hungary would open the border, but let's see what is happening in the world. So it was quite sensitive, and my boss, Mr. Pocsgai, was very, very supporting to open the border, and within the government he was hardly for that. As far as I remember, there was no any person in the government who would oppose it, but some of them were not so enthusiastic to do some steps, and the government made a decision on September 9th, as far as I remember, September 9th or 10th. It's not very good. 1 day or 2 days before the opening, because we needed some time to prepare. And until the session, everything was basically solved. And I did the protocol at the government session. It was very funny. We were sitting around the desk, and the Prime Minister, all the ministers were there, a member of the cabinet, and the Prime Minister arrived. Everybody just looked at him, and he sat down and asked, "Release them." No. This was the release them. Everybody knew what is this about, and the Minister of Interior, responsible for the borders and everything, he told us, "If we release, I have to leave now because we have to do so many things." And the Prime Minister, "Stop, let's vote." And all the members voted for opening the border, and it took 20 seconds, this historical decision there in the government session, but it's not 20 seconds, obviously. 3 months before this decision was the preparation time. And 25,000 East Germans left Hungary the next 5 days. They went to mostly to Austria, and immediately continued to West Germany. And so here, some kilometers away, there were a Red Cross point, so they registered Germans, and after that immediately they got a West German passport, and everything was arranged. So it happened there, and in this early December the Berlin Wall was demolished, destroyed. So well, this is the story. And so in Hungary, many politicians try to steal the merit of that for this whole event. This is the politics, but I think Mr. Pocsgai was the first person who has the merit, who got the merit for this, and also Otto Habsburg, who supported this event very much, and I would give the highest credit to the organizers, because they were really brave people at the time. What they started to do and what they did, it was practically illegal, and so that time it was well close. This system was close to the end, but that moment it was a communist system with police, border guards, workers' guards, and the Soviet troops and some strong hardliners in the leadership as well. But it was a nice moment. So we can celebrate it now if you want. Thank you very much. Thank you. So many things.
So this is